Okay, so freedom of speech, right? That's for some reason a contested issue among Americans. I do believe that people on like the far right and even kind of on the right in general have it a lot more wrong than like everybody else, okay? So I believe in the First Amendment. I believe that we can and are allowed to and have the right to say whatever we want. No one can make air not come out of our vocal cords. Okay? We can say any set of syllables whenever we technically want to. The thing is, you guys, though, you love to cherry pick everything. You cherry pick the Bible, you cherry pick laws, you cherry pick the Constitution. You will sometimes say that you believe in law and order, but then you won't care about it when people on your side have to deal with law and order. And then you just back up to the Constitution and use the Constitution the same way that you use the Bible as not a justification, not a valid one, but a fucking excuse for you to try to get away with some bullshit. So the Constitution and all the other documents of our country are intentionally regulated by the laws as well. So when you say a criminal set of syllables, according to our laws that are also under the Constitution, you are completely acting in bad faith and playing stupid and acting like that you also don't know that there's three branches of government and the Constitution is regulated by the laws. So you guys also don't believe in the First Amendment in another fundamental way, not actually, because you are so interested in trying to silence people, other American citizens, that say things that you disagree with. Not even things that would be considered, crimes or hate speech, things that you just simply disagree with, or you just don't have a good enough argument to explain why it's something you disagree with. So then you just go, shut them up, cancel them. You guys have canceled so many more things than the fucking left has. It's wild. You guys cancel the dumbest shit, like fucking Bud Light. Like, that's so stupid. It's so against your fucking self-interest, too. It's because like a fucking Bud Light in every goddamn country music video since the beginning of time. You guys love Bud Light. And then I also watched you all silently go back to drinking it. So the type of actual governmental cancellation, like an infringement on our First Amendment, was when the government canceled Jimmy Kimmel. That was unconstitutional. There's a huge fucking difference. And you guys act like societal cancellation is the same thing as governmental First Amendment right cancellation. These are not the same thing at all. The biggest consequence to every single person's freedom of speech in this country is every other single person's freedom of speech. Yeah, we all get it. Because we're all fucking equal, you dumb pieces of shit. So freedom of speech, right? You can go out there, right? You can say the N-word. You can. You can make air come out of your throat and create syllables with your mouth and say that word publicly to people. But what you're choosing, I believe, not to understand, is that you don't just get to say that word. And I think it's even deeper because it's like, even black people don't be saying like the hard R N word, And so the fact that you guys think you can say it is insanely wild. And I think something that black people understand a lot better than the fucking racists do is when they go out there and they get on their little fucking streams or they say this shit to you and they call you the N word, they're thinking they're saying it only to one color of people, right? Because they don't actually believe that people are equal, which is another thing in our founding documents that they just are completely fucking disregarding. They actually think they're better, probably because of generations and generations of being raised by their ancestor slave owners, passing down all of this like mental, knowledge and behavior through all these years. And so they just actually do think that they're the superior class. And they are like taught to ignore the things that are very clear that show that they're absolutely not the superior class in a whole lot of ways. Even things like national sports like the NFL and the NBA, Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Kamala Harris, Ketanji Brown Jackson, Rosa Parks. I mean, I could honestly go on and on and on, and that's the fucking point. There's just all kinds of things. Just so many things. Fucking how black people can do all these really cool things, and the racists just love to fucking just act like that doesn't exist and still somehow think that they're better out of like this fucking desperation. Check this out. Even Brett fucking Kavanaugh said that the N-word was the most powerful word in the English language. Well, you don't believe Brett Kavanaugh now? MAGA? Racists? What the N word really is, if you stop relying on the fucking crutch of thinking that you're only referring to black people or people of color, is it was basically the only term really on this scale that in this country was used to describe people, Americans, that weren't even immigrated here, were stolen here, and they treated them less than they've treated cattle for generations. So yes, of course, it was black people, but a lot of the white people who helped and weren't racist towards black people back then were also treated horribly by the racists. Like, if a lot of times, not worse in some ways. Okay? Like, this is fucking wild. It's literally like what they're fucking doing around here because they're racist and they hate me so fucking much. And look what they're doing to my wife about this shit. And now, of course, a huge portion of that is obviously misogyny as well. Combined with, like, this pseudo-racism because of how racist they are against me. They don't want me to have an intelligent white woman as my wife to procreate with and potentially make new little us's. That's the fundamental right there. This is fucking built into people. Okay, and so just like the children of the racists were raised with, like, you know, disaffected thinking and all these, like, built-in sort of, like, racist behaviors and tendencies, the children of the slaves were built understanding racism their entire fucking lives. Built in also. Except ours is wisdom as well as a generational trauma. Okay? That also got handed down. It's something that you guys will never understand. You know? It's just, you shouldn't, you know, it's not possible. But you have to acknowledge it. You have to see it for what it is. And to even show the resilience of, you know, the children of slaves, we basically took that word back. And now you get canceled in society if you fucking use it, and you're not allowed to. That's a form of earned privilege, not gifted privilege just because of who your ancestors were and how they built this country and this society to basically give you several handicaps your whole life and fuck everybody else over. It wasn't just a horrible word because they were only dark-skinned human beings, which, by the way, the only reason anyone on this planet has, like, darker skin is because we're constantly being spit roasted by a fucking flaming ball of gas in space, and evolution's real. So, racism's just so fucking fundamentally stupid and not tactical, and if people would stop being fucking racist and realize that they have been and that the ways they have been, we actually could make America great again. You know? That's how you do it. So, the thing, though, right, that you guys also don't fucking acknowledge when it comes to your freedom of speech is you think that you get to say whatever you want without societal consequences. You guys think that when the left cancels someone, it's like some sort of attack. No, it's a response to a horrible thing someone said or did, and people just don't like that person anymore now because they're like, that was a horrible thing to say or do, and you unfairly harmed or bullied people, and it was like just not okay. It was morally wrong. And then so people just naturally societally cancel things. You guys just cancel shit out of like throwing a tantrum. And so when you do say something like that that is so offensive to the core to not even just people of color, ton of white people are super fucking offended by that word, you're going to get societal consequences. Yes, sure, you have the freedom of speech to say it, but like, do it, pussy. It doesn't seem to usually work out very well for people who say that word across the board.